I'm your host, Sky. The Weeknd, $1 billion richer. Does that mean that he's gonna get money from his works for the rest of his life? In the news, reportedly, Abel Tesfaye, otherwise known as The Weeknd, has sold his catalog for $1 billion. So, like I said, I have a report in Vocal.media. You can check it out. Um, it talks about how different artists such as Taylor Swift, the late great Nipsey Hussle, Dr. Dre, and Jay-Z, among many others, have fought for their masters and publishing rights. This is an interesting one. This is saying that he has control over his masters, even though he sold them, which is weird. It's kind of I'm still not I'm still a little worried because Jay-Z said he's not giving up his masters or his publishing. He wants to pass that down to his children and his grandchildren, his uh anticipated grandchildren, I guess you could say. Um, he's more looking forward to a legacy kind of thing. Legacy again, legacy. But the Weeknd, he's like, hey, I got these hits. I can't feel my face. It's OVO and that XO way back when I was cool with Drake. I got hits. I was in the Super Bowl. That increased my numbers by a significant amount. Y'all gotta recognize. Y'all gotta respect the gangster. So this is a few questions. Just a few questions. Is he really gonna retain the rights to his work? He earned it. He put in the work to get those songs on Spotify, which he gets 120 million hits every month. Still, so he can just eat off of that. He don't even have to worry about anything else. He just eat off of Spotify, listens. So it's a weird situation to me. They don't talk about it enough. They need to talk about they never talk about it in school. They don't ever there's no I mean, I didn't go to a class where they're like, "Oh, in music class, okay, these are your publishing and your masters and the company owns this percentage of it. They have this amount for the publishing, this amount for the masters." I mean, what is the deal? I don't understand what is the main draw. What is that main issue there? What causes that to happen? Gandalf, GRA, hi, Liam Campbell, sup, what's up? What's going on? But are you being held at gunpoint because holy you look nervous? Well, if you send me a donation of about $50, I look a lot less nervous. Thank you. But it just is really, I don't know what I'm supposed to look like. I'm supposed to look like tense and like, I don't know, laid back. What the hell? But if you send me a $50 donation, I look a hell of a lot less nervous. Hi, bestest Jade. The best is Jade. How old are you? We're not going to play the game. My Cash App is $SKYLERSAUNDERS1. If you want to ask questions, you can send me a donation. Every donation, $5 and above, I'll answer a question. But if you don't have the money, you don't got the answer. So we're not playing the AMA game. And if we do play the AMA game, it's gonna be $1 attached to it. I'm trying to be like the Weeknd out here. I'm trying to get my work. I don't even know what I'm doing with YouTube. I don't know who owns. I mean, I think I kind of understand who owns my work. I think I own the work, but YouTube has some kind of control over it some way. Where if I would have to sell it or I don't know. All I know is that artists like Taylor Swift, she was re-recording her music, and she was in the process of doing that when it came down that she would be able to generate um her catalog. You know, she was in the process of re-recording everything when it came down that she could, you know, possibly get it. It was, and her catalog is worth like 300 million. I think the last time I checked it was something like that, or at the time. It's probably worth a billion probably right now. Probably, you know, maybe even more. But that's what it was. Wiz, salute to you, sir. I'm doing the show you sent. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. He's like, yo. It's all right. I appreciate it. So yeah, we'll just have to see. You know, we'll just have to see. The Weeknd. You know, he's one of my favorite artists. I love the flow. I love the imagery. I love the whole, you know, storylines. Like he has like the busted up face and the old grizzled beard, and like he puts time and effort into his work, into his compositions, into his body of work. I really respect that. I think that's really cool. So, um, the idea of publishing and masters, though, it needs to be talked about more. The first person I ever heard about was Jay-Z. He was the one that said, laughing over niggas who get F for their publishing. Like, yeah, people get F for their publishing every day, I'm sure. They're not aware. I mean, look at TLC. Look what happened to TLC. The late, great Lisa Left Eye Lopez said, this is how you can be broke when you sell 10 million albums. You can be broke. She was like, you know, they take away this amount of percentage, then another percentage, and another percentage. And at the end of the day, you're going to be left with like $60,000 or something like that. Something crazy. You had to split it three ways. It's the three-way between T-Boz and Chili. Then you have to account for the touring and all the different things. Everything has to be accounted for. And after that, you know, you find yourself with the bunny ears, you know, nothing in your pockets. That's the sad truth of it. That's the sad reality. But it shouldn't be sad. It should be like, you should know. You should really know. And it's like Mr. Choice Star Terrain says, it's nobody's business to teach you the business. It's nobody's business. It's your business to understand the mechanics of the industry. That's the reality. I mean, it's fun. We have fun, you know, and dance and sing and ha ha hee hee. All right, that's all good. But the bottom line is the bottom line. It's all about this money. It's all about the scratch, the Skrilla, the paper, the ducats. That's what it's all about. Don't get it confused. What do you think this show is about? I enjoy doing this. I enjoy having, you know, a show, and I'm passionate about it, and it makes me feel great because I'm able to express myself and people get to listen. That's wonderful. But it's really, at the end of the day, all about money. It's really about YouTube's money because they're making more money off of me than I am. They never gave me a single, you know, dime. Who is this? Miserably happy. Wear the hat right. You're not on BET. No, I gotta have it cocked to the side. Who could it be with that new black derby on? Not derby. What is this? What is this? Oh my god! I forget what this is called. Trilby with this new black Trilby on. Who but me? Another Jay-Z reference, but yeah. So it's real. It's real in the field. I mean, it just the conversations that are, you know, behind all these things. You know, you have really talented people, extremely talented people, not really good at business though. That's the majority of artists. Artists aren't, you know. I mean, even the idea, it's like starving artists, you know, and then you're couch surfing and you're eating top ramen noodles, and you know you're just playing the guitar, and then somebody says, "Oh, you're a pretty good guitar player," and they chip in a few quarters in your guitar case, and then like, "Oh, what is this guy? You know, what are you doing here?" That's the deal. It's like they'll put you on, you'll get your money, but you won't get that much money. Wiz says, is the Weeknd the biggest what? Biggest winner? Biggest Canadian artist? What do you mean? What is it? Is he biggest what? I don't know what you mean, Wiz. You gotta clarify. You gotta specify a little better. Be a little more thorough, sir. But Weeknd is one of the biggest artists of all time. Definitely, no doubt about that. That's the truth. And then you have people like the late great Michael Jackson. Just don't know what to do with the money. He was spending like it was nobody's business. He was in debt. He had like, I don't know how much debt he had. I think he had like $100 million in debt. He was like spending $300 million or something crazy. But he had the residuals. He had the publishing. He had the Beatles publishing. He had the I think a few other artists, but he definitely had the Beatles publishing. He had his own publishing, so he had money. He was probably like close to $800-900 million. I don't think he cracked $1 billion, but he had money. But then he went into debt and then just evaporated pretty much. But yeah. So Abel Tesfaye, I think that's pronounced his name. Abel Tesfaye is a global phenomenon. Okay, Liam, you're back. Okay, I hope you're back with some money. Please tell me you're back with some cash for my Cash App. But that is a shining example. That is a shining example of where the money goes. He had Sony. He had a deal with Sony. Dude, if 11? What is dude if 11? I don't know what that means, Liam. You need to specify. Everybody needs to specify. Tell me what you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. But that's just the truth about all of this. It's all about business. The business of show, not show business. It's the business of show. Money is the bottom line in all this. Everybody's trying to make $1. How much will you get cut? Like I said, Jay-Z, he made probably $10 to $12 billion for Def Jam or Universal Music Group. If he has $3 billion, and that's off of endorsements and other properties, his cognac and stuff like that. I know, I get that too, but they're probably making money too based off of that. But anyway, but just focus on the music. I mean, like there's a Nelly. Nelly sold half of his catalog for $50 million, and that $50 million is $50 million. It's not $1 billion. It's not getting confused. But $50 million is $50 million. You could turn that into $1 billion. You could turn $20,000 into $1 billion. Confucius says start a square one. I'll answer that question if you send in at least $150. I'll answer your question. If not, that's just the way it is. It just goes away. You give me $150, I'll answer that question. So just the truth of it is that everybody rushes into the industry. I'm like, I'll get $1 million contract. And it's like, I mean, that's what it was with Dame Dash. Dame Dash and 50. 50 was like, I'm just coming off 134th Street, South Side Jamaica, Queens. And it's like, how is that even possible that, $1 million is a lot of money? Well, it's really not, because it gets eaten away. That's why you do those huge numbers. That's why it's at $1 billion for the Weeknd, for $1 billion for him. That's the reason why, because he's probably only going to see, after taxes and regulations and controls and all kinds of different, pay this person, pay this person, pay that person, he may only get 700 million, and that's a lot of money, but he's not getting the full billion. He's not getting the full $1 billion. He's more than likely only going to get, maybe $500,000. I don't know. They don't really talk about the nitty gritty, the ins and outs of the deal. They only talk about, oh my God, reportedly, The Weeknd sells his catalog for $1 billion. Oh my gosh, it's like crazy, but it's not that. It may not be that serious. It may be a few $100 million knocked off of it. Maybe, who knows what it is. He's under XO, Universal Music Group, Universal Music Publishing Group. Among I think another one I missed out, but just all these different camps, all these different thoughts regarding it. It's just baffling. I'm flabbergasted after all this. It really makes you wonder, what it is. So I just, want to say, I want to say congratulations to The Weeknd. Definitely congratulations to him. If this is a ironclad, $1 billion deal for him, for his works, for the effort and the time that he puts into his craft, that's a beautiful thing to reap the benefits of that, and in such a major way. $1 billion. Oh my God. Like I said, why did Nelly sell his for $50 million? Why? I mean, it's so weird. It's a strange world we live in right now. It's very strange. Because $50 million is a lot of money. But it ain't $1 billion. That's for damn sure. It's not even close. It's like 18 times more than that. 50 million. So I just don't understand the connection between people that are, just in the I'm just in the music industry. I'm gonna sell merch and sign autographs, and that's gonna be the end of it after I get off my set. Like, it's a lot more to that. It's bigger than hip hop. Even with artists like Ye. Ye had $1 billion. Then he lost whatever was left of his mind. He should have took the right drugs. The pharmaceutical drugs. Psych drugs, by the way. But he was in $1 billion, but he's worth what, $400 million now. And I think what The Weeknd's probably worth like 90 to 100 million without this deal. Somewhere in that field. But even artists that were only their first album, like the late great Rockin' Power to Nipsey Hussle. He was another one that was talking about how you got to have your publishing and your masters together and everything like that. He was cut short. His life was cut short. He couldn't explain it any further, but there is no God, but thank God there's Jay-Z. Jay-Z, he's always talking about the masters and stuff. He's talking about Prince's masters. That's another issue. Oh my God, who owns Prince's masters? He had no biological children. He had no adoptive children. Who owns the masters? Are they in a special vault somewhere? Are they in the vault in Paisley Place or Paisley? What is it? I can't remember. It's Paisley something. I can't remember what it was though. Is the Weeknd best years behind him? Could he pull off another monumental album? I think so. I think his best years are not behind him. I think they're ahead of him. Does it matter though after the sale? I mean, he could just eat off of whatever he produced from the beginning. He has that opportunity. He has that chance. So that's why I would figure, he has, that range. He's a vocal range, and he has a range of ideas for his specific projects. One of my favorite ones. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna have to cheat. Let me cheat. Hold on. Let's cheat. I like this album. I can't think of what it's called though. Let me see. 2022? Damn, that's almost 4 years old. Dawn FM. Dawn FM. Wow. That was in 2022? That seems so much recent. That's crazy. That is wild. What was his last? In 2023, he set a Guinness World Record for being the world's most popular artist. He's got that Michael Jackson vibe. He's got that Mike vibe. And he dropped Drake. They're no longer, friends at all. He was making fun of him on what was it? Was it The Future? I think it was on Future's album. When was his last? Hurry Up Tomorrow. I don't think I ever heard Hurry Up Tomorrow. That came out this year now. Certifications. It didn't even chart in the United States. What the hell? Oh, it charted, but it didn't. No certifications. It was number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200. Nigga wild. Nigga wild. He's on that next level. He really is that next level. Prince family owns his mask. Okay. They were fighting over it. They even released unreleased work. Oh, wow. Going by your words, the Weeknd best days are behind him. Dawn was fired, but a cult classic. Yeah, Dawn FM is the truth. Time is flying, young man. Yes. Time waits for no one, as the cliche goes. That's how the cliche goes. But just figuring all that out, I mean, it's just so nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh, that's what's so. It's really. I mean, I'm looking at the blues artists. Oh my god, they had the worst deals. Oh, we'll give you $100, and that was probably like $1,000 or $22,000 or something like that. And that was a lot to do back in the day. Back in the 20s. If you had $2,000, you were pretty good. It's like $30,000 today, or something close to that. Maybe $10,000 or something like that. But you know what I mean, because of inflation. But yeah, they had put your we're gonna put your voice into this little box, and you record it, and we're gonna get it on together. What comes to mind is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom by August Wilson. The idea of music artists not having the control over their work, And what happens is they die destitute, and not able to control their destiny, um, for their offspring, for anybody like that, because they didn't own their work. Wow. Is that true? Gave Muddy Waters a Cadillac and a pack of Newports? Damn, that's cold. That's cold, but it's real. You got to look at it as real, because that's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the beast. But that's real though. I think the Weeknd broke the record for the higher selling Cadillac. What are you talking about? They know low 88. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, thanks. um yeah, so that is the industry. This is the business of show, ladies and gentlemen. The business of show. I'm joking about the cigarette part. Oh, but yeah, the Cadillac. Oh, the Cadillac, but still. And just imagine, Aretha. What is Stevie on? Stevie, he won't even see that money. No, that was a low blow. That was a low blow. But anyway, but Stevie, seriously, Stevie's been putting out work since like the late 50s, early 60s. His last album was like in 2005, I think, or something like that. But yeah, so that is the truth. I mean, just all, Al Green. What is he on? He's still alive. Stevie's still alive. What about the catalog for people like Marvin Gaye, Aretha, Mike? Um, I just have to be random people. I think Elvis is managed by somebody. There's a guy that manages all his memorabilia and his the merchandise and everything that has to do with him. They call him like the I can't remember what the exact title is, but he's like the curator for the dead stars or something like that. He controls all their interests and everything like that. It's a game. It's not cruel. It's just not sick. It's just what it is. You have to be on you have to be on your money. You have to be on your skills. I know you have to hone your voice and hone your lyrics and all that, but make sure you hone your business skills. Go to a community college, go to night school or something like that, and figure it out that way. I was just having a discussion with someone on Facebook. They asked who was better, David Ruffin or Marvin Gaye. Come on now, let's not even go there. It's Marvin Gaye. There's no question. David Ruffin's he was that guy. He was the front man, but he wasn't that silky smooth, cool, thoughtful, individual like Marvin. Marvin's in his own class than David Ruffin. Not even close. Not even close. But yeah, so it's all about the publishing. It's all about the masters. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. It's all about the mother money. That's all it's all about. Don't get it confused. Don't get out here in these streets and think, oh, everything's sweet, everything's great. People getting, I'm looking at Sabrina Carpenter right now. What is she on? Does she know her masters in publishing? She's really flirty. She's got like a routine she does at her shows. She said, you're under arrest for being so hot or something like that. And she's got the fuzzy handcuffs and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is cute. She's really flirty and stuff like that, and a lot of sexual innuendo and everything like that in her lyrics and her overall thing. But what is she doing with her money? What is she doing with her publishing deals, her masters? Because she's getting a lot of views on YouTube. Is that translating into dollar amounts for her? How much? It's probably like $40,000 at the most, off of like 200 million to a billion streams. Probably like $50,000 or $100,000. That's crazy. That's insane, but that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. All right, so I'm gonna continue with the music. I'm gonna transition from the Weeknd and publishing to um the idea of the Black Eyed Peas flipping everything. They flipped everything on its head. Flipped everything. They were a hip hop collective. It was Appel, if I pronounced that right, Taboo, will.i.am, and Kim Hill. They were the Black Eyed Peas, and they were really corny. They were whack because they didn't have that one feature, that one missing link, that one piece that would put everything together. A white woman. Get yourself a white woman in your group. If you're struggling, you don't know where to go, get a white girl. Get a white woman. She'll do wonders for your group. Like Fergie. Fergie did amazing things for the Black Eyed Peas. Amazing. Did they do Super Bowl? I don't know if they did the Super Bowl or not. Can't remember. But anyway, I mean, Boom Boom Pow and Where's the Love? And she had her own career. Girl Can't Help It. And If You Ain't Got No Money, Take Your Broke Ass Home. But the Black Eyed Peas, she sat down with them. They broke bread. They had a good time. They were celebrating all their milestones of being 50 years old. So that's pretty extraordinary. They're all in their 50s now. Look how fast time goes again. Like, time moves fast. It just moves fast. But she was able to sit down with them. This is according to allhiphop.com, they were able to have a dinner. But what I want to know is, like, what would happen? This is territory. This is territory. I know this is but I'm just curious. What would have happened if the Black Eyed Peas didn't find Fergie? Let's Get It Started. That's another song. They just had hits. They're one of the highest selling groups of all time. 80 million records sold. And this is before Spotify and Apple Music and all the other streaming services. Tidal, all of them. So it's very vital to show how this beautiful white woman came through and saved these niggas. These what are they? One's a Indian, another one's I think Hispanic. I don't know. And we have will.i.am. I think he's foundational Black American. I believe. It makes you 100% sure. Well. So he's foundational. Born in L.A. Ella Funk, Monkey Business, The End, The Beginning, during which he shared lead vocals with fellow singer Fergie. With Black Eyed Peas, Appel the App, African American father, and a Filipino mother. Okay, so he's not Hispanic. He looks Hispanic like most Filipinos. They usually look Hispanic or yellow, brown or yellow. And Taboo, he's Hispanic. He's from Mexico. He has Shoshone heritage from his grandmother, though. But anyway, Fergie, though, white woman. That's how you do it. Aaron Magruder, the writer for the Boondocks. He was like, they're corny. This is back in 2003. It's going way back, 22 years ago. I know, it's crazy, but. SG Avern, sup man? Why do I always find your lives when I gotta go to sleep but keep going? Salute to you. You don't have to call me king. Just call me sir. Just call me sir, because I don't do the king thing. I mean, it's cute, it's wonderful, whatever, but at the same time, it's like no kings. You know, we have a weird situation in America. Well, I'll talk about that later. I think I talked about it already, but. They mix hip hop, dance pop, pop, R&B, pop rap, electro pop, reggaeton, alternative hip hop early. They were alternative. They're like the Far Side. Could you imagine if? Okay, okay, Queen. No, no, no. I don't like king or queen or prince or princess or any of it. You know, keep all that. That's what America stands for. We're against all that, but we love it at the same time. Oh, I used to get bothered when people say like Elvis is the king of rock and roll, Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul, Michael Jackson is the king of pop, you know, Eminem is the king of hip hop, you know, or Jay-Z. You had that conversation, you know, but I used to say, okay, now they earned their way to get those titles, you know, but these people just won the womb lottery. That's the reason why they have it. They had the vagina lottery ticket. They didn't do anything special. They didn't have anything to do with it, but yeah, could you imagine the Far Side or Black Sheep or Native Tongues, De La Soul, a Tribe Called Quest. They had moderate to okay, to pretty good success. They didn't have like Fergie. Fergie propelled them. Is Lauryn Hill the queen of hip hop to you? No, no. She already has her name in her. She has it in her name. Queen Latifah is the queen of hip hop. Queen Latifah, she reigns. She reigns. That you got your free bingo space, by the way. That was a free bingo space. That question. Usually I charge for questions. If you ask any more questions, they're gonna have to be charged, sir. But yeah, Fergie, white woman, saved the day. She was the white savior. She was the white savior for Black Eyed Peas. She came in and got the truth. I knew I'd get you, ha 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 ha. Well, I said it was a free bingo space. You didn't really get me. If you ask two questions, then you get me. You didn't really get me. I said I allow some people had weird questions, so I don't really let them slide with weird questions. But that was a pretty straight up question. I don't know why my name isn't Robin right now. You might remember that. I don't know. 20 per word. I don't even know what that means, but okay. Yeah, but it's amazing to even. I was thought I'm like, damn, they really like blew up. Like all they had to do was get a white woman. You're one Swedish viewer. I guess you are. But all you have to do is get a white woman. Get a white woman. Sales ain't looking too good. Get a white woman. Your group isn't popping off like it should. Get a white woman. Get a pink toe. Get a snowflake. She'll do wonders for you. That's all you got to do. She'll do the best thing possible. So I just think that's awesome. That is awesome. They were one of the best selling musical acts of all time. They were ranked 12th on Billboard's 2000's Decade in Artists of the Decade chart and 7th on the Hot 100 Artists of the Decade. I'm gonna be boom boom pound. Like I said, that I got a feeling. Rock that body. They did perform. Okay, in 2011, they performed the Super Bowl. What is that? 55. If I said that right, I could be wrong. What is that? I think that's 55. I think that's awesome. Get a white woman. Get her. Let her do things for your group that you wouldn't have been able to do. She had her own solo career. She wasn't like a knockoff. She wasn't like she was just standing in for the band, but cause she had her own. She wanted to branch off for do her own. She had hits on her own right. What happened with Black Eyed Peas? I think they just sitting on money. That's not maybe somebody. So I think Will I Am controls it. I honestly believe Will I Am controls the money. I don't know. This is alleged. This is all alleged, but I think that he controls it most likely. He has his own record label, Will I Am. I think that's what it's tied to. Um, that was the reality of that. Who's the best member? Oh my God. Have to be Will I Am. I mean, Will I Am is the mind behind all that. And second would be Fergie, then Appel, and I can't really say Appel and Taboo because I don't know what they really contributed. Really, they probably did have some raps and some real struggle bars, at the beginning, possibly. But I think it's somewhere between Will I Am and Fergie, I guess, because they're at the top. They're the lead vocalists. They're the ones that are doing the most. I can't. A lot of people dump on Will I Am for humps, but I like that song. It's fun. It's playful. It's catchy. It's ear gum. It's ear candy. Don't take it too seriously. Don't say like, oh well, yeah, this is profound work. This is my humps, my lovely lady lumps. Like you can't take it to a serious point. You can't take it to a point where you're like saying my humps, my humps. Check it out. Like you just can't do that. You can't do that. That's not Black Eyed Peas, I know, but it's Fergie, so she's related to him. So Rocky released the artwork for his album "Don't Be Dumb." Do you think we're gonna get it, or is he just teasing? Yeah, I did see something like that. He has Tim Burton animation, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He has like Tim Burton style. Tim Burton actually did the artwork for "Don't Be Dumb." I think that "Don't Be Dumb" is like the second Detox in hip hop history. Detox is never coming out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm sorry to break it to you. Detox is never coming out. It went from what did he have? Well, it was the Chronic, and then he had something else in like '96. I can't remember what it's called. Then he had 2001 and 1991 excuse me. And everybody's looking for Detox from Dr. Dre. But I don't think ASAP is teasing. I think he's actually showing himself to be a stand up guy. He's winning in life. He's winning. He beat the cases somehow. Beat them charges like Rocky. He's got Riri. That's beautiful. He calls her his spouse. I think that's really cool. Even though they're not married, I don't know. I still don't know if that's a good or bad thing. You know, for me, I'm going to try to find a woman and then marry her and then have children. I don't want to just have children floating around and then, I'm supposed to be a daddy somehow. I want to have children, in a stable home and in a wonderful environment. The mother and the father, the nuclear family, that would be wonderful. But Black Eyed Peas, oh my gosh, man. Listen, Stacey Ferguson. Stacey Ferguson is that real girl. She's real. I never really hated on her. I never really had reason to hate on her. A lot of people probably did hate on her. Oh well, they had to get a white girl so they can get more views or more album sales or whatever it is. Yeah, they did. That's right. Why are you hating on that? Don't hate on that. That's wonderful. Do what you got to do. They got rid of that. Her and respect to her. Respect to Oh, I forgot. Oh, I just her name just escaped me. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, where is it? Some Hill. Hold on. Kim Hill. Kim Hill says she didn't want to be sexualized. So that's the reason why she didn't do anything for that. She didn't want, and she started doing gospel music or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, she had her own song, her own album called Sugar Hill. She wasn't doing it for him. She wasn't doing it. She wasn't doing it. She wasn't doing it at all. I like the fact that Stacey Ferguson, aka Fergie, just stepped up and was like, you know what? I know what people are gonna say. I already know. People are gonna hate me, especially black women. Black women are like, how they just jump on stage with a white girl and then they can get all the success. I don't know how that's gonna happen. And niggas is probably hating too. Niggas is probably like, man, y'all niggas whack, y'all corny, y'all gotta get a white girl just to get your sales up, or whatever. Obviously, I mean that's what happened. I could have seen if it was a terrible mistake. If it was like a decision that cost them their dignity, or cost them their the rights to their music or whatever, or they just flopped and they didn't do well, they wouldn't have performed for the Super Bowl if that was the case. So she definitely propelled that group despite all the other issues that may have surrounded them, and they made hits. That's just the whole point. You got to make hits. The record label's like, okay, that's cool, great. What's your next project? Okay, wonderful. Elefunk. All right, cool. What's after that? That's the reality of it. I mean, I'm just repeating in my mind what Aaron Magruder said. He said, Black Eyed Peas. I listen to Black Eyed Peas, but they're corny. And he said that about himself. He said, if I were to make, people look like Huey and Riley, if I was to make them look like revolutionaries in trench coats or something like that, or some kind of instead of cute little kids, I would have I wouldn't have a job. He wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't be able to publish his cartoons. This is back when he was writing for the newspapers, for the funny pages. So that's just the reality. So I just praise and salute Stacy Ferguson, aka Fergie. I salute Will I Am because that man's doing crazy things for AI. He reminds me like Pharrell and Will I Am kind of remind me of the same, like they would be on the same wavelength. I don't know if have they collaborated before. But they seem like they're on like the same kind of ideal. Like they're advancing things. Um, what's his name? I just said his name. Um, Will I Am. He's into AI and computer technology and coding and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. I think that's awesome. So just to take in all the truth of having a group and then not perform well, not perform up to standard, not doing well, and then I mean, they could have added anybody. Like I'm seeing, like the Fugees. The Fugees, they had a nucleus too. They had the two rappers and the singer rapper. And I guess Wyclef sang and rap too. And then Praz, who is going away for what 10 years, something like that, 14 years, something crazy. Um, yeah, so that is magnificent to me. I think that's monumental. That's monumental that a white girl can mesh with the black girl. And when I think about them, they don't like they'll play a pop. They play rap pop, but it's not. Think about how many other pop acts are there. Like Nelly was pop, 50 was pop, Jay's song. Some of them there are pop. Who isn't pop? In hip hop. Why are you? Oh man, they're just trying to they're just trying to make rap pop. What? That's the whole idea. That's the whole point. That's how you get your money. If you're popular, that's what pop means. Popular. If you're popular, you get more recognition. You'll get more money. You get more dollars. You get more flow. People hating on that. What? That's subjective hate. It's really corny. It's really whack. And they should be ashamed of themselves. I think they should really be ashamed of themselves. Because, people that, don't have the means to, create great works, great art, great music. They don't have the means. They just have what? A guitar and a YouTube stream or something like that. And then they go make tens of millions of dollars because, they started from nothing, but they didn't have good business skills, so they lose it, and they don't end up like the Weeknd. The Weeknd. And I think Will I Am. What is Will I Am? Let me see. Before I look it up, I think Will I Am is worth $50 million. He might be worth more. And this is not, it is a car. Let me see, this is net worth. $75 million. Okay. That's good money. It's great money. Like, we're in such a weird space. $75 million is a lot of money. That's like maybe even $80 million. That's a lot of money. Some said what I said before, $50 million. But it's still a lot of money. I mean, but $1 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, 500 billion. It's not about the dollar amount. Ayn Rand didn't have $1 billion. She may have had, I don't know, I can only speculate. Maybe she had 200,000 to 800,000, maybe $1 million when she died. Maybe. I don't want to do too much speculation because I'm probably way off. My dumbass probably shouldn't even try it, but she didn't. I know for one thing, she lived in an apartment in New York. Wasn't like it was even a luxurious high apartment. It was just modest. It was, modest to, upscale. It wasn't, extraordinary, but it was comfortable and it was very accommodating for her. Plus, she died only a few years later, so you have to enjoy your life while you can, and in whatever situation and condition you are in, because we're all just. This is a weird thing. It's like living we have houses. It's the weird, weird way we speak about it. Where do you live? What do you mean live? How do I live? I'm living right now. Where do you live? Oh, I live at, whatever street, whatever township, whatever. This is very strange. But anyways, salute to Fergie, white woman, dedicated white woman. Dedicated white woman. You gotta love that. You gotta enjoy that. You cannot hate on will.i.am and Appel and Taboo. You can't do it. You can't do it because they figured out a plan. They said, "Look, we gonna get this white girl. She gonna put it in. She gonna put it in the work. She gonna do it big. She gonna do the damn thing." And that's what happened. They went from nothing to something in just a little bit of time. I think that is extraordinary. That's what makes things special. That's what makes things possible. When you have that chemistry, that she had a beautiful chemistry with Black Eyed Peas. She didn't say, "Oh, this is my group." She didn't say, "Oh, it's Fergie and the Black Eyed Peas." It wasn't like she knew her part. She knew what to play. She knew how to play her part. She didn't step on any toes. She put in that work. No, she's not the greatest singer, probably not the greatest dancer, but again, it's like Diddy. He wasn't the greatest dancer, wasn't the greatest rapper, wasn't the greatest manager, wasn't the greatest CEO, but you put them all together and he was pretty phenomenal. He was phenomenal. But same thing with Fergie. She's not the greatest singer, she's not the greatest dancer, she's not the greatest songwriter, but she can put all these things together and she can make it into one talented bundle. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. So I would, I still salute her. Salute Stacey Fergie. Over 50 years old now. Hold on, let me see. I'm just looking for it. Hold on. It's thinking. Fergie. She is 50 years on March 27th, 1975. Wow. Okay, so one of my favorite lines from her. This is from the song with Kanye West or Ye. Unemployment line. Credit card decline. Did I not mention I was about to use that line? Did I not mention I'm about to lose my mind? Okay, we going all this way this time. A lot of fun. I love Fergie. Fergie's the truth. Can't hate on Fergie. I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at Fergie. All right, so thank you everybody. Thank you Wiz. Thank you again for another story. I had a story, I had the Black Eyed Peas story all lined up, so I do appreciate it, and I thank you very much for lending me that specific Weeknd story. That was extraordinary. So I appreciate you, sir. Salute to everybody that came in, and I will see you sometime, probably tomorrow, if not Friday. Take care.